You're listening to Stories to Create with your host, Cornell Bunting. Author, motivational speaker, and founder of EHAS Each Episode. Cornell sits down with inspiring voices to uncover the stories that shape who we are and who we're becoming. Get ready to listen, learn, and be inspired. The show starts now.
Yes. Welcome to another episode of Stories to Create podcast right here at EHAS Club, and I'm so excited because we have Pink Nation in the building, people. We have the Pink Divas United founder in the building. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. So listen, without further ado, guys, Astrid Shover.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting to be here with you, the infamous Cornell Bunting.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I wanted so bad to make sure I got the face clean up, and I'm calling my barber. He's not. I'm like, dude, you're killing me. I'm running out of time here. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna scruff it today, but I'm gonna make sure I look good, huh?
Listen, this is a whole vibe here. You got your threads on, bashment fashion show. I love it.
Yes. It was only right, hanging out with an individual like yourself that's making so many power moves.
Thank you.
In the pink world, we had to come out with the pink.
Yes.
So with our listeners, what we do is, we want to take our listeners back. We want to take our listeners back before the you now.
Ooh.
The growing up years.
That's
the
juicy.
Early years.
Yes. Ooh.
So as far back as you can think on, your upbringings, where you born, grew up?
So I was born and raised in Queens, New York, and then transitioned into moving out to Long Island. So that is where I spent most of my childhood years on Long Island.
On Long Island?
Yes.
Wow.
And I stayed in New York until about 2006 and then moved to Atlanta.
Wow.
Lived there for about 10 years and then Southwest Florida for the last 5.
All right. So if we was to dive in just a little bit in Long Island, what was school like, going to school and all that stuff? What was that like?
Oh, my goodness. I just wish that we can go back to the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Because, for me, living here now in Southwest Florida and thinking back to my early childhood days, like, for instance, I was just on the call maybe 3 days ago with my classmate from kindergarten, Joseph Gillespie.
Wow.
Like, how many people do you know can tell you that they still communicate with someone they were in kindergarten with?
Right, this is true.
So it was very diverse. Long Island, Freeport is where I was from. Yeah, that's where I grew up. Known as like the fishing capital of the Northeast, if you will.
Yes.
And everyone got along with each other, all different culture backgrounds, race, economically. It was very diverse. It was a blessing to grow up there. Middle class, family.
So you had a big, diverse group of friends in school.
I had a huge, diverse group of friends. And it was funny because my dad is from Haiti. He came to America in 1969. Met my mom, who was American, mixed with some other things in her. And, growing up with the last name, my maiden name is Pierre. So there was no escaping that. Sakpase, my Iceland out there. Oui. So when, at first it was almost like people were not proud to be Haitian. They were almost hiding it.
Wow.
So when people would call my house and ask to speak to me when we didn't have cell phones in the 80s.
You had the spin phone.
We had the spin phone and the long extension cord that wrapped around. People thought my dad was from Puerto Rico because he had this tough, heavy accent. And I was like, no, he's from Haiti.
Yeah.
So I think it was really like the 90s where it transitioned to where people were Jamaican, Haitian, and they were really just celebrating their cultural background. So I identify as a strong Haitian American woman.
That's beautiful.
And I love my culture.
Yes. Got that nice melon tone. It's amazing. I like that.
I'm a chameleon.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. That's a good way to put it right there. So, leaving Long Island to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
What was that transition like?
It was tough because leading up to that, there's a little backstory.
Okay.
So in high school, I just had an affinity for just being different and not really being in that whole high school scene, if you will. So my boyfriend at the time, who was a lot older, didn't realize it because lie. It was an abusive relationship.
Oh, no.
And I hid it. I hid it from my parents. I hid it from my friends. And I felt like I was on an island all by myself. Wow. So that's another reason why I really speak to domestic violence. As a survivor, a 2-time survivor of domestic violence. Yeah. And not just to older women, but to younger girls, right? Because we have to treat men, boys, how to treat us. And whatever your flavor is, whatever your thing is, you have to treat your partners how to treat you. So it was a kind of like a damaged situation, going through college, still trying to find myself. I went to school for marketing and sales in Manhattan, and it was just like the world was wide open because coming from a slightly sheltered life on Long Island, going into Manhattan every day on the train with all these stores and shops and restaurants, it was a lot for me to consume. And I kind of went down a dark path of just, finding the wrong people to be with.
I see.
And that led me to coming to Atlanta.
So you had a terrible group of friends before you came to Atlanta.
I wouldn't say terrible group of friends. I would say a terrible choice of men in relationships that led me to coming down to Atlanta. I was in sales for BMW. That's like pretty much my background. And I transitioned from working with BMW in New York to Atlanta.
To the BMW in Atlanta.
Exactly.
Okay.
And at that time, 2006, 2007, we had a recession. The housing market was crashing. I couldn't afford my BMW car note. I didn't want to look like a failure to my parents and go back to New York. So I was trying to tough it out and think about what I can do. And one of my friends, he was a police officer for DeKalb County. He was Jamaican. He was from New York. We just hit it off, plutonic, just friends. And he would come in. We would meet each other at the Jamaican restaurant right next to the car dealership. And he says, Astrid, why don't you become a cop? The benefits are great. The pay is great. And I was like, do you see this? Like, I was suited and booted, heels, suits, dress. I love fashion. That's my thing. And he says, just try it. Just apply. And it was almost like, Cornell, I'm quite sure you can resonate with this. The more I was trying to stay away from it, it was like God pushing me to it. He was like, just do this. And I'm glad I did because that's where I met my husband.
Beautiful.
He's retired, 30 years law enforcement, and I served 3 years on the force.
Oh, wow. That is
so that's how I ended up in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. That is so cool right there. So obviously, you got into the police department, but that wasn't something that you was trying to do.
It wasn't. I think it was just a way out of the current situation that I was in. But yet and still, it led into a blessing, right? Because I met my husband. We have 2 beautiful sons together. He's my partner. I call him my white thunder.
Partner in crime.
Yes, my partner in crime. And it was a blessing because he was exactly what I needed. It was tough making that transition from being a police officer, having a career, to stay-at-home mom. Because I realized that it was not safe for me to go back to the streets as a cop with a newborn at home. So he stepped up and was like, just stay home, take care of the baby. And then 2 years later, the second one came.
That is amazing. So in the time, like, to take us just back just a light little bit, when you decided, I don't want to go back and let my parents, see that maybe I think I fail or whatever. What was going through your head, like not wanting to have that conversation with mom? Or even when you had those conversations, what was that conversation like?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Every young person carries a story of hope, of struggle, of dreams waiting to rise. But in too many underserved communities, those stories go unheard.
At has a story. We believe every voice deserves a chance. Through mentorship, empowering programs, and storytelling workshops, we help youth discover their purpose, strengthen their mindset, and build a future they can be proud of.
From classrooms in Jamaica to communities across Southwest Florida,
EHAS is changing lives,
one story at a time.
but we can't do it alone. Join us, become a mentor, volunteer, donate, help us fuel the next generation of leaders, creators, and change makers.
Visit EHAS.org today, because when you help a young person share their story, you help them change their world.
Well, for starters, I grew up in a very strict traditional household.
Right.
You didn't leave until you got married. You went to college. So it was I was like the black sheep of the family.
Wow, you broke a lot of rules.
Oh, yeah, I broke a ton of rules.
Oh,
so,
man.
I mean, I had a job in Manhattan at 16 years old doing makeup, making $20 an hour.
Wow.
In the 90s, that was not heard of, right? Like,
yeah, you making bread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've always had this hustler spirit about me, if you will.
Yeah.
So my parents knew that it was like, okay, what is Astrid up to next? What is she doing?
Yeah.
So it was tough to have that conversation because I was just breaking all of the traditions, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I realized, just like with God, right? We break all the things that he wants for us, right?
Yes.
But yet he's still there as a loving parent.
Definitely.
And I had to remove that from me because that was really preventing me from having a close relationship with my folks. Because at the end of the day, no matter what I do, they're going to always be proud of me.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But we get in the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it was a tough conversation, but they supported it.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them are still around right now?
Yeah, they're actually in Naples.
Oh,
so
wow.
my parents live in Naples now. They moved down in 2012,
Wow.
which is why we wanted to move down once my husband retired to be closer to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have your second child. In your head, what are you thinking? Like, what's my next move? What was that like?
Well, if I could be very transparent and honest, I know some people may frown upon this, but I never really wanted to have children.
Okay.
I was a career-driven person. It was about my career, travel, and, God has a way of shaking things up. I met my husband, and it was relatively quick. I mean, we met through work, right? He was a sergeant. I was a regular cop on the street, and we connected. We started hanging out. Next thing you know, I'm pregnant with Taylor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we got married when I was 6.5 months.
Okay.
Pregnant with Taylor. And we've been together for 14, married for 13. So within that transition, it was a lot for me to deal with because I struggled with now I'm in this huge house.
Right.
I'm a stay-at-home mom when really my passion is making my own.
Right.
And my mom had to say to me, no one else could be Taylor's mom but you.
Right.
God chose you to be his mom.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, it really resonated for me to step into that role fully.
Right. Yeah.
And it's one of my greatest accomplishments being a mom, right? Being a parent, a father,
definitely.
Some people don't look at it like that, but it is.
Yeah.
And from there, being a stay-at-home mom, I wanted to get back to Astrid.
Okay.
So I started working out. Started losing the baby weight, and my husband's like, listen, you're in the gym more than me. Why don't you go and get your personal training certificate? So I did that.
Okay.
I worked at a gym. I taught classes, group fitness, personal trained.
Yeah.
And in 2016, I did a spiritual fast in January.
Okay.
And God spoke to me. He says, I want you to leave a big box gym and start a faith-based fitness business.
Wow.
So in 2016, I started Salt and Light Fitness in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
We had boot camps, we had personal training, we did mission trips, we prayed after every single session. And it was so gratifying because now, Cornell, people were coming to me as if we were the church for them.
Wow. That's awesome.
People didn't go to church on Sundays, but they would work out physically and spiritually at Salt and Light Fitness. And it just really opened up a door of so many opportunities from there.
That is amazing. You have a solid look to you. How serious did you take the gym and how hard were you going?
So one thing about me is I go all in, right? I can't do something half, but,
right.
you
Full
know,
100.
50%.
Yeah.
I'm full in. So I really took a liking to working out. It woke me up every morning. I was just driven to do that. Wow. So we did CrossFit, deadlifts. Like I was telling you before, my highest weight was 425 for deadlift.
Come on.
So I got some legs on me, right? The strength and the power. My husband like, what?
Yeah.
But, you know, now hindsight, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have been doing that in squats and stuff, you know, 250 on squats.
Solid.
Yeah. Wow. So I really enjoyed it. But that was our space. So, you know, with my husband and I, although we met on the job, and I would hear his voice on the radio and I didn't realize who he was until I saw him. I was like, 5'13". This doesn't sound like someone that has blue eyes and blonde hair. 5'13" sounds like someone that's like 6'2", tall and dark skinned, you know? Yeah. But God has a way of disrupting what we're used to show us what we really need.
This is true.
And it was just a match made in heaven. We started working out together. So that was our time, our quality time of working out and really just spending with each other. Yeah.
Man, that is beautiful. So now you got this spiritual camp going. When did you decide to shift from that to the Pink Diva Nation that you got going on?
So I didn't decide.
Oh.
I had no choice in it. We were trying to have a brick and mortar space with Salt and Light Fitness. And everything that I was trying to do, the lease wasn't working out. It was some type of roadblock. And I just kept on hearing, this is about to be your season of rest. Because within me doing Salt and Light Fitness, it opened up an opportunity for me to do internet radio. So we had the Salt and Light Movement radio show on the CWR network, which was a faith-based network. So people were hearing the message all over the world. You know, the power of social media and internet and the digital world. But then I quickly realized I felt a lump in July of 2018. Healthy. Breast cancer, as far as what I knew, did not run in my family. And I asked one of my clients, who was a 2-time breast cancer survivor, hey, what did breast cancer feel like for you? And she says, Astrid, go and get it checked. Don't waste any time. And sure enough, that one little lump turned out to be 4 masses. So I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and I had to stop. So it wasn't my choice of doing. I stopped. And once I got through all of the treatments and surgeries, I decided to start something different, which was real estate. So Pink Divas United, it's been in the process, long making, right? And until this moment. So I just launched it in August. You know, God's been tugging at my heart to finally start an initiative for survivorship. Because the thing is, it's November 3rd? Everyone forgets about the pink.
Definitely.
It's only in October, but women are getting diagnosed every single day. Women are struggling mentally every single day after the diagnosis. Marriages are ending because men don't learn and know how to love the new us after breast cancer. And they get left behind too. This initiative, it encompasses all of that. Advocacy, showing up to these doctor's appointments and telling these doctors, this is what I feel, and not being written off.
So take us back just a little bit to the day you felt the lump in your breast. Was you like massaging you? Like, how did that even happen?
It was the weirdest thing because it's like yesterday. I got out of the shower and God was just like, just touch yourself. I was like doing a self-examination. It was like the weirdest thing, not in a freaky way. And I just felt this lump and it didn't hurt. It did not hurt. It was like the size of a pea. And that's why I ignored it. So you're talking about a month and a half.
You did after you felt it, you went a month and a half without addressing or anything.
Women don't do this.
Oh my goodness.
Learn from me. Don't do this. Because I could have prevented it from going into stage 2. That time that I waited because I wasn't sick, didn't feel sick, didn't look sick, didn't think or know that breast cancer ran on my dad's side of the family because it's always been told, it's the mother's side, maternal side. I waited. and it became stage 2. It went into my lymph nodes.
Oh my goodness.
So it's nothing but the grace of God that I'm here today.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm so grateful.
Yeah. Definitely. Wow.
But it was a shock because you feel the lump. You go through all these tests. My boys were 5 and 7 at the time.
Right.
My husband was still working as a sergeant with a whole group of men and women under him and having to be strong on the road for them.
Right.
And August 13th was when we got the news that it was breast cancer. Because you figure you have to go through the scans, the biopsy, all that waiting period in between, not knowing what's going to happen. And boom, we got that news. It was devastating.
Wow.
It was beyond devastating.
So, because when you got the news, it was already at stage 2.
Yeah. Wow. And then I found out that not only was it stage 2, but I was 38 years old at the time, and it was an aggressive form of breast cancer, had lobular invasive carcinoma.
Wow.
And the doctor said, this is unusual for someone of your age to have this. Why don't you do the genetic testing?
Right.
Well, come find out, the genetic testing proved that I had the BRCA2 gene. So I had an 86% chance of getting breast cancer, ovarian, and pancreatic cancer, higher chances than the next person.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So the healing process, like because they had to cut that out, yes?
The healing process was complete removal. We had a choice.
Okay.
My husband and I went in. They said, okay, we can either remove one breast or both breasts. And my husband and I, we looked at each other and said, you know what? I don't want to go back down this road again. So I had a double mastectomy.
Oh, my goodness.
In 2018, September 28th, that was it.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was really difficult for me to grasp with that because women, we're so attached to our bodies.
Yeah.
These were the breasts that I fed my kids with.
Hold on. Oh, my goodness.
So look, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I told you we were going to be raw and authentic today. It'll get lighter. I promise. It'll get lighter later. But no, it was really difficult to make that decision. And it was really about preventative because I wanted to live with my boys and my husband.
Right.
So we went through those channels. Double mastectomy was the best course of action.
Right.
And 4 days after that, we removed my ovaries and my tubes. Wow. So just imagine the mental aspect of now you have no breast. You can't ever have children again, even if you wanted to, right? And it really just does something to you because you feel less than a woman.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You know?
Yeah.
But thank God for my husband being there by my side and saying, we're going to get through this together.
Yes.
You know? Yes, it may look ugly right now. Yes. But we're going to get through this together. And it hasn't been easy. Right. But we're getting through it together.
Oh, my goodness. And you rocking that so beautifully, though.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
Oh, man. You got me all chills going over here. So how was the boys taking this when this was going on? Did you ever get to talk to them about that, or you never really?
I got to talk to them about it, but you remember they're 5 and 7,
right.
So they have no clue what's going on. There was a lot of transition. We had just sold our house in Atlanta to be able to build the house that we now currently have here in Florida. So a lot was going on emotionally for them, and I think it really hit them. When my hair started falling out. Oh. Because November 6th, I started chemotherapy.
Okay.
And I knew this was coming. Right. And that was the only thing that I had control over was just completely taking the razor and shaving my head.
Oh, man. So you just went ahead and just
I did a Facebook Live. I went to my husband's barber and just took it all off because it started to come out anyway. And I never wore a wig.
Right.
I love magic here now, but I never wore a wig once during my diagnosis. And I'm going to tell you why. Much respect goes out to women that choose to. This is not to put any of my breasties down, any women that choose to wear a wig during their diagnosis. But I felt that by me wearing a wig was only to make someone else feel comfortable that I was sick.
Wow.
And I wanted to show the beauty of it, right? And I loved it. Like, I got so many compliments. I didn't really realize how beautiful I truly was, Cornell, until I went bald.
Wow. Because you saw all of it.
I saw all of it.
Yeah.
Because we have to get to a place, especially for women, where we take off the mask.
Right,
we look past the makeup, we look past the hair, and just see who God has really created us to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. You say that so well, and I know a lot of you're welcome.
Yes.
You guys are welcome. That's beautiful. And there's so many females that I don't know if they would even handle it the way you've handled it, in the way that you have. And big ups to your husband,
Thank you.
For that support.
Thank you. But I was prepared though, because prior to my diagnosis with breast cancer, when I had Salt and Light Fitness, I was doing the Bible Challenge on Facebook Live.
Okay.
So all of those scriptures, all of those prayers were stored up for this moment. God always prepares us.
This is true. He does.
He always prepares us.
And it's important that we pay attention to details. So you was paying attention.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And I almost hit it.
Yeah.
Because that's what the enemy wants us to do.
Right,
he doesn't want to show the world what God is about to do for us.
Right.
And God was like, no.
Yeah.
I know you've been praying every night. I know you may think that you're immune from something bad happening. Yeah. But I want to show the world how I'm going to heal you and use you as a miracle.
Wow.
And look at me today.
Oh, yeah.
God is good.
That is amazing.
Yes.
So, you made it, you went through all that. Like, how was your parents taking it, and what was those conversations?
I'm the baby of the family.
Okay.
Right? So for the baby of the family to come down with this terrible disease, not knowing if I was going to make it. I had 16 rounds of chemo, multiple surgeries, the hair loss, everything. It was tough for them because they were here in Naples. Okay. I was in Florida. Right. They would come back and forth as much as they could. But, my parents are older, so I didn't really expect that out of them. But the outpouring of support and community was amazing. Of my brother, my sister, and just social media was really amazing. So I got through it.
Wow. So your siblings, because we never really touched on your siblings back, but what was that relationship like back with your siblings coming to here now?
So my brother's in New Jersey with his family. He doesn't really like the South like that.
Oh, too much sun.
He's too much. He can't see himself leaving up north. And my sister is in Naples. She's actually a principal out in Naples and Collier County. Yeah. Okay. So she made the transition out here. So I had a close-knit relationship. I still do with my siblings. We speak weekly.
Wow. So 2 siblings.
Yep, 2 siblings.
Wow.
My brother's the oldest, and then my sister, and then me.
Oh my goodness. So so you guys really get to play and do all the fun stuff back in Jersey. Yeah. You guys were good brother and sisters, yeah?
Great brother and sister.
No fighting.
Look, we fought every now and again. I never forget. Remember when American Warrior was out? Yeah. And all the different obstacle courses? So Mom, Dad, let me show you now. So my brother had me pinned up to the wall. And this pillow, we had the couch and put the pillow around me and would be throwing the dodgeballs and stuff like that. We were actually American Ninja Warrior. Yeah, we had fun. We were a mess growing up.
That is good.
But that's something that most people now, they don't have close relationships with their siblings anymore. Right. I don't know why, but I'm blessed to still have that.
Oh man, that's beautiful. So you dive into real estate. And what was that? First of all, why would you even wanted to go into real estate? Let's take our listeners there for a minute.
So after beating cancer and moving down here during COVID, right? My husband retiring, we moved down full time. Yeah. I figured, you know what, Astrid, you beat cancer. What's one thing that you've always wanted to do that you were afraid of getting into? Yeah. It was real estate. So it was very organic and natural for me. I went to Larson Real Estate School. COVID happened. Everything shut down. Right. Here comes another monkey wrench. Yeah. Cancer again.
Whoa. What you mean?
Yes.
No.
I told you it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good podcast. Whoa. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2018, this is why you have to really be an advocate for yourself and question these doctors. they saw a small mass on my thymus gland, which sits between your lungs and your heart.
Okay.
But they didn't think it was associated with the breast cancer.
Oh.
So they ignored it. So 2 years later, I go through real estate school.
Yeah.
The world shuts down.
Yeah.
I'm on pins and needles. I get my real estate license in July.
Right.
And then find out that this thymoma that I had grew.
Oh, no.
So in August of 2020, I had a thymectomy. So they used the Robert Da Vinci robot to come in, deflate my lung, and remove the whole entire thymus gland with the thymoma on it.
Wow.
So I survived thymoma cancer. It's a type of cancer that can be aggressive as well.
Yeah.
And
Wow. Thank God that was caught in time, innit?
Thank God. But the funny thing about it is right after I got out of the hospital, it was just like a burning desire. I felt like I was behind the 8 ball because here it was, I had to have another surgery. I had to face cancer again.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let this defeat me.
Right.
So I just started doing Facebook Lives and showing my neighborhood by the water and lots. And my people started contacting me and said, hey, how much of these lots I want to invest?
Yeah.
And that's how the real estate started.
Wow. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
See? You see? Oh my
it can
goodness.
Happen. Listen, I'm all about overcoming adversity.
Yes.
You have to be a cat in life.
Yes.
You have to always land on your feet.
You got to land on your feet.
Yeah.
That is very important. Oh my goodness. So you got that going, and then it started tugging on you that you got to get Pink Divas United bust wide open.
Yeah, because during my journey with social media, thank God for it, you are able to meet women that are going through the same thing that you're going through from all over the world.
Right.
So I met women in Pakistan, I met women in Canada, I met women in the UK.
Yeah.
And one thing we realize is that cancer is cancer. Doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your ethnic background, it still affects us.
Yes.
So I wanted to do something that was global, that kind of piggybacked into my real estate career with me being a global advisor, having Dubai as my niche, and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Pink Divas United started.
Wow.
So Divas, it stands for diverse. That's the global aspect. Inspiring, victorious, amazing survivors.
Wow.
So it's an acronym, and it means so much.
That is amazing right there.
So we're doing our work. We're a new nonprofit, but God is just blessing us with opportunities for fundraising. So if you want to be a sponsor, visit my website, www.pinkdivasunited.org.
Yes.
And we're going to be a beacon of hope for so many women and men, because like I said before, the spouses and the partners, they get left behind, and we can't do that.
Wow. Have you gotten an opportunity to talk with any females that have maybe not pay attention and found themselves in that situation?
Yes. You have no clue. Through me being transparent and sharing my journey on Facebook Lives, on Instagram, it has opened up a door of opportunity to reach women who are under 40, right? Wow. To say, you know what, let me go get a mammogram. There's a history of breast cancer in the family. And thank God they did, because some of them found things.
Wow.
And had they not watched my journey or my videos, they wouldn't have gotten checked.
Wow. Yeah. Why you think females find themselves in a situation? Let's take out the business out of it. What do you think? Because even if they hear it, sometimes they still don't get around to it. Why you think that is?
There are different reasons, right? So let's just start from the point of view of community. Right. And culture. Right. You and I, we both have Caribbean roots, right? It's something that's embedded in us where you don't say, you don't tell, you don't ask, right? It's a certain level of shame that we carry. So you have no clue. There's so many women that have had a lumpectomy, right? Which is where they just partially go in, remove the cancer, and that's it. And you still have your breast, right? So if your grandmother had that and never said anything to you as a child, and you're a female, right? And by the way, men get breast cancer too.
This is true,
right? Then you have no inclination to go ahead and get checked because you think that your family is good. Also, people can't afford it, right? Mammograms are expensive, right? If you don't have insurance, yes, people worry about that bill that they have to pay, or maybe Medicare or Medicaid may not pay for it, right? So the education is not there in our communities, right? Yeah. More younger women are getting diagnosed with breast cancer, right, than ever. Yeah. Hormones, our environment, right? Yeah. So there are a lot of different reasons why women don't get checked, either because they don't have the resources, the education, or the finances to do so.
Yes, you touched. So the very thing I was hoping you would say, you touched on it, the education.
Yeah.
And that is so big. I think a lot of us don't, and I don't know if it's they don't see the importance of it, or if influencers make it look like it's not cool no more because, people follow the influencers now that have made a big break in the music world or whatever that is. But it's almost like that's a big thing among a lot of females right now, being educated on it.
You have to be, you know, because our voices, this is where our power comes from.
Right.
Right. I always said, I never asked God why when I got diagnosed with breast cancer. I just asked him how.
Okay.
How do you want me to glorify your name through this?
Yeah.
And it's not about us. It's always about the next person out there. You know, what we go through. Yeah. Whatever hardships that you went through, Cornell, it wasn't really about you.
No.
Right? He allows you to have this platform, your voice, to share with other people. So if that person wants to commit suicide or is going through depression, they can say, wow, well, if Cornell could have overcome this, if Astrid could have beat cancer twice, then surely I can too.
You can too. And you hear what she did not do. She did not curse God. That's big, because you have a lot of people that's one of the first thing they do, like, why God? Like,
But he never promised that we would live a life free of pain and trials and errors. Like,
it's true.
It's written in his word.
Yeah.
But once again, education, right?
Education. Yeah.
We're not educated on cancer.
Right.
We're not educated on our spiritual journeys and reading the word for ourselves to be aware of what to expect and how to deal with it.
When you was a little girl, did your parents push you to go into church a lot?
Oh, yeah, look, speaking in tongues, Pentecostal background, all of that. Bible study, if the car wasn't working, my mom, we would do church at home. We would do Bible study at church, at home. Like, we went to church all the time. And then it was a period where we didn't go to church.
Oh, okay.
But even still, when you're far away from him, for whatever circumstances, he's still there.
He's still there. He is still there.
We run away. I mean, like, the things, come on, the things that I've done when I was in my teenage years and my 20s, it's nothing but the fullness and his grace that I'm able to still be standing here and he still blesses a mess.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
If we was to take a singer from way back to a singer current, let's go with Whitney Houston, Beyonce. Who would you choose to go see?
Look, they might come for me. Don't come for me on my social. Look, Beehive. I'm sorry. I'm not a Beehive. I don't like the honey. Look, I love Beyonce. I think she's phenomenal. Yeah. But if I had a choice, it would definitely be Whitney Houston, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
The grit, the determination, the conquering, and despite her going through the trials of life, she always gave God all the glory. She was just so relatable. I remember living in Atlanta and, knowing that she was there at the time before she passed and stuff, and my husband, being in law enforcement, that Bobby Brown, Whitney, all of that stuff, like, he remembers those days. Wow. And we got a chance when I went back to New Jersey for my nephew's graduation this past summer to visit the Whitney Houston School in New Jersey. But she was everything. Despite the flaws, she was still beautiful. And I love her music. I love her voice. I mean, no one can outdo Whitney Houston. She's Whitney.
She does have a voice,
but Beyonce's great. But I'm not paying $1,000 for the Renaissance. Look, I'm my own Renaissance woman. Sorry.
Don't come for her, Beehive.
No.
This is good. I like that. So now, because you have a movement now with your Pink Divas United, you have a following of ladies. how far out how wide is your audience right now?
We're wide.
Yeah.
We're wide. We're very new, but we are still making traction. Right. So we were supposed to have our retreat, our Pink Divas Thriving Retreat in Dubai from October 18th to the 24th.
Okay.
But then the world happens at war. Right. So we're postponing that to February 18th through the 24th.
Still in Dubai.
Still in Dubai.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I have so many business connections there.
Right.
Dubai is a bucket list trip for so many people.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we beat cancer.
Oh, yeah.
So why not treat these ladies to not only a vacation of a lifetime, but also healing, right? So we're going to have a mental health workshop in the desert.
Wow.
So I have a therapist on board who's also a cancer survivor, a thyroid cancer survivor, though, that's able to create this safe space, and women can resonate with that. And not for nothing, but we have so many connections on social media.
Right.
This is a way for you to finally meet that person you've been following in Australia. Right, or in Ghana, right, that has battled breast cancer and beat it. So it's healing, medical, and fun, this retreat, February 18th through the 24th.
And they get to interact with camels.
Yeah. Listen, there's something so peaceful when I go to Dubai.
Yes.
I love it. I've been multiple times. I bought property there last year as an investment.
Yes.
I'm a big investor. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And creating a legacy for my children.
Yes.
So it's like near and dear to my heart.
It is a dope place. When I tell you, I've been impressed when I've been there. So, maybe we'll run into each other. You never know. Maybe. I might just pop up in some pink.
Maybe. It's going to be full on. It's going to be an amazing experience. We have doctors on board. Wow. We have all the excursions. We're going to do the Burj Khalifa. We're going to do a day trip to Abu Dhabi. Okay. So they can visit the mosque. And, whether or not you're Muslim or not, I think it's great to embrace.
Embrace
and see the diversity, and the difference.
Yeah, Burj Khalifa, people. No joke.
Yeah, and the fountain show and the fashion, the food. Oh, yeah. It's just amazing. Yeah, and then we'll also do smaller retreats that are more local throughout the year, our gala, our fashion show. So maybe you can be on our fashion show.
Oh, definitely. Year. Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Yes. You see it.
So I'm willing to collaborate with other nonprofits, whether they are here in Florida or abroad. Because I feel like we're in Southwest Florida. You know how it goes. Yes. When you're starting a business or a nonprofit or you're successful, sometimes we get that crab barrel bucket mentality, which I don't do.
I don't do. Yes.
And that's why we chatted. Like I know a lot of people. But a lot of people don't know me.
Right.
And I'll show up occasionally to different events as long as it makes sense.
Yes.
But I don't like the cattiness and the competition. I'm all about collaborating.
Yes.
Because there's enough at the table for all of us to eat.
It's a whole lot at the table. Yeah. If all of us can eat. All of us can eat, people. You heard her said it.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I'm verifying that right there is enough for everyone. Yeah. I've told so many people.
And I think, especially growing up in New York, living in Atlanta, the Black Hollywood, and then coming to Southwest Florida in an interracial relationship.
Right.
I had to train people how to treat me.
Right.
Because when I showed up as a luxury global advisor to sell property, they almost thought that I couldn't do it. Right, because of my skin color or me not being a female. Right. Oh, you can't know anything about boating or fishing. And I'm like, no, that's my jam. Like, we have a boat. We love fishing. What do you need to know?
Right.
But it's just that vibe. And I think it's slowly starting to change because more people like you and myself and other influencers here are starting to see that we're better together than separate.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. And, and I'm glad you touch on the interracial stuff because, I know back in the day, that was such a thing that couples had to hide.
Oh, yeah.
I met an older couple that they're like in their 90s now, but they hide back then, what they were doing and stuff like that. But the people that are in your circle, they understand what this like, the importance of us as one. Because we're really one. We're just vessels.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us don't necessarily understand that. So, the individuals that are around you, you make it known like it's important for them to understand.
Oh, yeah. My husband has had to shut racism down. Mm-hmm. I have had to shut racism down. Mm-hmm. We don't tolerate it.
Good.
At all.
Good.
I don't tolerate it in my business.
Yeah.
If I know that you're a bigot, guess what? I'm not the person to sell your house.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sponsorship. Now that I'm diving into the nonprofit sector,
yes.
Cancer has no color.
This is true.
Right? It has no color, right?
This is very true, yeah.
So it's very important that we speak to those issues and more people feel bold enough to use their voice without fear of being blackballed.
Right.
I'm all about, it's not about the numbers, it's the people.
It is the people.
Right? We can't be so consumed with how many people are following us versus how many people we're impacting.
Yeah. This is a beautiful thing. And so, with what you're doing with the organization for young ladies, mm-hmm. That are coming up, all these different challenges that they face, what would you say to them when they're in that moment where they just don't want to talk to anyone because they just don't know if they're going to hear what they want to hear?
First, I would say to them, you are enough.
Right. Say that again.
You are enough.
Oh, my goodness.
Breast cancer is ugly, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. but it's also a pretty side to it as well.
Right.
And the reason why I say there's a pretty side, a pink side to it, right? Mm-hmm. Hence Pink Divas United, is because the love that you receive when you're going through that. Right. I love pouring into women, right? So, any way that I can help young women see themselves and know that they're enough, whether you've had a lumpectomy, mm-hmm. whether you've had a double mastectomy, whether you have no nipples, whether you couldn't get implants because your body rejected it. You are enough, beloved. You are beautiful. Stand in your power. Mm-hmm. If you don't love who you are, you can't expect someone else to love you. Right?
That's it right there. Yeah.
So it's taken me a long time to get to this point in my life. Mm-hmm. I'll be 44 in 2 months.
44? Wow.
In 2 months.
And looking so beautiful. There you go.
But it's taken a lot of work.
Yeah.
So while I'm healing, I'm still healing other women with Pink Divas United, with my speaking engagements, and really just showing these young women especially that don't look to social media for, acceptance.
Right. You got to say that you're dropping too many dimes today. You got to say
don't look to social media for acceptance because, point taken, there are a few powerful, dynamic women that I have followed on social media. And every now and again, we get that green-eyed, jealous monster that comes out and say, oh, I wish my husband would buy me flowers, or I wish I could look like that. But some of them are getting divorced. Some of them have eating disorders. Some of them are depressed. You just never know.
You never know.
Social media only highlights the good aspects of our lives, not the bad, not the arguments. People have no clue. I might have been yelling at my kids 5 minutes before I got on a Facebook Live.
Right.
It's real life.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I would say to these young women. Mm-hmm. Know that you're enough. Stand in your power, use your voice, and it's a journey to love the whole you.
Wow. For all our listeners right now, your social media plugins, what are those?
So I have a few of them. So it's Pink Divas United for both Instagram and for Facebook. Mm-hmm. For real estate, it's Your Coastal Chic Realtor. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Astrid Shover.
Wow. That is amazing right there. I am so excited that we got a chance to bring you in today. And
thank you.
Man, you came full circle with... Woo, woo.
But you know what? Listen, I always say this. God be the glory.
Yes.
I am nothing without him.
Yes.
Everything that I have, all the successes that I have and will continue to have is really because of him. Wow. I'm just the vessel. I'm just allowing him to use me. And I'm no different than anybody else out there. You can do it too.
You can do it. You heard it, guys. Oh, my goodness. You guys heard it here. We have created another story.
Thank you.
Right here in EHAS CLUB. Astrid.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. This was such a blessing to be here.
Yes.
This was fun.
Yes, this was fun.
We got to do part 2 because we got to talk about the Sean Paul days and everything else.
We got to. I'm telling you, there is so much to it. But, we gonna leave her for season 4. We bringing her back, people. We are bringing her back. I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
until our next episode where we have another intriguing individual with the stories to create right here at EHAS Club. We thank you.
Thanks for tuning in and downloading this episode of Stories to Create. We appreciate you being part of this growing community of storytellers and listeners. If today's conversation inspired you, please share the show with friends, family, or anyone who could use a little motivation in their journey. A special thank you to our sponsors, EHAS Organization, Cornell Bunting LLC, and Nostril Cheese Chase for supporting the mission and making this podcast possible. To learn more about our work, upcoming projects, and how you can get involved, be sure to visit www.hissinggorge and www.cornellbunting.com. Until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and remember, your story has power.